If you'd like to see how I created this beautiful abstract negative space pour, please keep watching. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I'm using Winsor & Newton acrylic paints, and I have a really old canvas here that I did a negative space pour on, and I'll link the video here so you can have a look at how I did this. And after a few months I could see it staring at me and I could see a face through there, so I decided to add that on and paint, and then create some more doodles with paint around the pour. So just used a normal HB pencil to draw in my lines. So really just guidelines for the what I wanted to add on there, and I've just really used a basic palette for the skin tones, because I was trying to create the same kind of tone that was the colors that were used in my pour. I decided to use the same kind of tones on the skin tone. So yeah, really it's a mix of portrait art but very abstract, and doodles, which I love doing, and actually what I started off with doodling and then coloring them in, but I've actually never painted doodles in with paints. I've always actually just used Sharpie pens or paint markers, but never actually literally painted them in. It's quite tedious because they are so small to paint in, and does require a lot of patience as well. So I'm just adding some tones to the face, and if you've watched my previous videos and you know that I'm a portrait artist, I always paint in oil if I'm doing a portrait. This is my first time using acrylic paints. They dry really quickly, and that's the downfall with acrylic painting. You have to work really fast. So it was a challenge for me to kind of do this, create this face, and then get all the details. Well, this is not really detailed, it's more of an abstract portrait. It's not really a realistic portrait, because that's what I was trying to achieve with this negative space pour, and just giving it a bit of an abstract look with the portrait painting. So it's more of an abstract portrait than it is a realistic portrait, because it's a woman that I have kind of painted from my imagination. So I didn't really use a reference for the face, so you know, I had to kind of imagine the features, and that's why it was a bit difficult for me to kind of come up with the shadows and the skin tone. But I did use the skin tone mostly related to the pour, the colors that I've used in the pour. So and it's really difficult for artists to kind of I know for myself it's very difficult sometimes to you know, look at a canvas and say, yes, that's what I'm going to paint. It's always a challenge, and I struggle. I really struggle sometimes staring at a canvas for hours, and you know, then think, okay, this is what I want to paint on it. So that's what I did here, and I just really just used my imagination, and it worked out pretty well. And I hope you stay here until the end of the video, where you can see how this whole canvas and the whole painting and the negative space and the doodles all came together. I haven't recorded the whole process, but just some of it to show you how I painted the doodles in. Doodles are quite tricky to paint in, because they are tiny little drawings, and you know, you got to add color to them. But I tried my best, and you know, as hard as it was to add all that definition in there, it was pretty effective towards the end. And because you all know you know, how to paint in doodles, it's not really that difficult to do, and I didn't really add much shadows, or I didn't make them realistic, but I did add some kind of tones to them for the doodles to pop up through the negative space on the sides of the pour. So that's what I was trying to achieve. So I'm not going to bore you with all that, and I'm going to let you watch the video. And as I said, I haven't recorded the whole process of filling in my doodles, but you will get the gist of what I'm doing here. Really just adding shadows and dark. I use burnt umber for the background so that the lighter colors would pop, and that's what I was trying to achieve. Also, thank you, to all the new subscribers, who've joined my journey here on YouTube. I really appreciate your support, and I am humbled that, people actually find my channel interesting and, helpful. I'm not an art teacher. This is not a, teaching channel. I'm not here to teach anyone. No one can really teach you how to paint. You either know it or you learn, but you learn from other artists, and it's not about copying anyone. It's not about stealing anyone's ideas. It's just getting inspired by somebody who you probably think, okay, I like their art and I'm going to try and do that. But so I find that's inspiring, and that's what I try to create on my channel. Is I try to inspire others to paint and create in their own way. You cannot teach somebody how to paint. It's what they already know. So that's what I try to do here on my channel, and I really appreciate all the love and support that I get, and it's very humbling. So guys, I'm going to just say, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like this video. Watch my video on the previous pour that I did on this negative space. As I said, I've linked it up above, so in the first part of this video you will find that link if you want to see how I did the negative space. Also, I'm open to suggestions and comments and advice on anything that you would like to share, any tips and tricks on how to use acrylics better. That will also help me. I am more of an oil painting oil artist. I love oil paints because they are so forgiving and you can just use them as you please. That I mean that they dry slower, so you can correct any mistakes that you might have made. With acrylics, you just got to work quick, and you can correct mistakes with acrylics, but you just have to work a little bit harder with acrylic paints. So this section here, I'm really just kind of adding an effect of how a leafy effect, a leafy doodle with shadows of a leaf, but of course it's abstract, so it's not really what you would see on a normal realistic leaf, but you get the point. And so guys, I'm going to leave you here, and I said this before as well, but I went on. Again, thank you so much for watching, and keep it locked right here. I'll be I upload a video once a week, and for the people who've joined my journey, yes, you see me doing acrylic pours, you see me doing portrait art. I am an artist and I do try everything, and sometimes maybe you've subscribed for acrylic pours and then I don't kind of post on that a lot, but it's because that I am a portrait artist and I do kind of experiment with lots of art. So it's not boring, it's different, and it's a lot of different things, so you don't get bored with just the one thing. And I'm sure everyone now knows how to do an acrylic pour, the basic acrylic pour, so that's why I try to make my paintings a little different, because I add stuff to my paintings, or I create doodles, or I just try and experiment. My last video I was experimenting with a texture, so I used a texture paste, a modeling paste, and that also is a lot of learning and how to use that paste. So I'm going to try and put my time into learning how to use modeling paste in the future. So take care for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the love and support, and please subscribe and share and like this video. Until my next video, guys, stay blessed as always. Take care for now. Bye.